Hey everyone, Nigel and Luke here, and welcome to another edition of Crimes of the Week. This week, the driver responsible for the deaths of a mother and her 1-year-old daughter during a 2018 street racing incident was sentenced to 24 years in prison. 21-year-old Cameron Herron was sentenced on Thursday, almost 3 years after the fatal crash that killed 24-year-old Jessica Reisinger-Robenall and her daughter Lilia. The incident happened on the morning of May 23, 2018, when Herron, his brother, and his friend John Barano headed to a local gym. The men were traveling in 2 separate cars and reportedly began racing down Tampa's Bayshore Boulevard after stopping at a traffic light. Herron struck Reisinger-Robenall and her daughter with his Ford Mustang as they walked along a crosswalk on Knights Avenue. He had reportedly received the car just 2 days earlier as a high school graduation present. The sentencing in the case reportedly came after a long day of emotional testimony from both the family and friends of the victims, as well as Herron's own friends and family. The other driver involved in the crash, John Barano, was previously convicted and sentenced to 6 years. On Friday, authorities in Douglas County, Colorado, announced that they had arrested a suspect in the more than 3-decade-old cold case murder of 51-year-old Roger Dean. Dean was killed in his home on November 21, 1985, when an intruder wearing a ski mask broke in and held him and his family at gunpoint. After forcing Dean to tie his wife up, the intruder demanded $30,000 from their savings account. The encounter ultimately turned fatal when Dean tried to run and get help, and was shot 5 times by the perpetrator, who then hastily took off, leaving behind his ski mask. From the beginning, investigators were able to find hair on the ski mask that they thought would be valuable in finding the perpetrator. But in 1985, the technology did not yet exist to extract a usable DNA sample. That changed in 2003, when the Colorado Bureau of Investigation was able to use newly developed methods to create a profile and upload it to the national database. Unfortunately, there were no hits. In 2018, investigators then employed the latest forensic genealogy techniques and were able to determine the parents of the likely suspect. The couple had 2 sons, one of whom lived in Colorado in 1985 and had a criminal history there. The man's name was Michael Jefferson. To confirm the DNA match, investigators began to monitor Jefferson and were eventually able to obtain a DNA sample when he drank from and then discarded a plastic water bottle while aboard a flight. Testing on the bottle confirmed the match to the hair found in the ski cap at the 1985 crime scene. Jefferson was recently arrested while visiting family in Los Angeles and has since been extradited to Colorado, where he now faces charges of kidnapping and first-degree murder. Police in Bryan, Texas, say that the suspect in a terrifying shooting spree at a local furniture plant has been taken into custody and is now facing multiple charges. According to reports, 27-year-old Larry Bolin entered Kentmore Cabinets on Thursday afternoon and began to open fire on those inside, killing 1 person and wounding at least 5 others. He managed to escape from the scene of the crime, but was later apprehended by police. The person killed in the shooting has since been identified as 40-year-old Timothy Smith. 2 victims remain in critical condition, while 3 others have been declared stable. Among them, a Texas Department of Safety trooper named Juan Rojas Tovar. Tovar was shot while attempting to take Bolin into custody. While a motive behind the shooting has not yet been established, it is believed that Bolin was an employee of the furniture company. He is currently being held on 1 count of murder and an attempted capital murder charge. On Friday, his bond was set at $2.2 million. Police in Cambria County, Pennsylvania, say that the suspect in a brutal killing over a refrigerator this week has been arrested and confessed to the crime. According to reports, 26-year-old Joshua Gorgon admitted to stabbing 54-year-old Denise Williams to death with a kitchen knife on Monday, after she came to his apartment to buy the refrigerator, which he had listed on Facebook Marketplace. At some point during the exchange, an argument erupted over the price of the fridge, leading Gorgon to viciously attack Williams with the knife. Police found Williams' body at Gorgon's apartment on Tuesday, after her family had reported her missing the previous night. Gorgon has since been charged with criminal homicide, as well as 2 counts of felony aggravated assault. Police in the village of Mokina, Illinois, say that they have arrested 1 adult this weekend, following an incident in which a security guard was bitten at a local trampoline park. The situation unfolded around 5 p.m. on Saturday at the Urban Air Trampoline and Adventure Park, after a group of people were allegedly being loud and disturbing and became upset when they were asked to calm down. According to some sources, there were reports that a security guard may have pulled out a weapon sometime during the altercation, but this was never confirmed. However, no shots were fired. The security guard was bitten sometime during the ensuing altercation. 1 adult was arrested at the scene and charged with assault, though it remains unclear if this is the same person who bit the security guard. None of the identities of those involved have been released. A truck driver in California is being praised for taking quick action this week after he blocked the path of a fleeing murder suspect during a high-speed vehicle chase, allowing police to make an arrest. According to reports, police had been chasing their suspect, 36-year-old Michael Caleb Reed, for more than an hour and across 3 California counties when they passed through the city of Pomona. At the same time, 44-year-old truck driver Ahmed Shaban was looking for a place to park his vehicle for the night. While on the phone with someone, he learned about the police chase and saw Reed coming his way. When Reed made a left-hand turn and attempted to speed through an intersection, Ahmed slammed on the gas of his truck, moving directly into Reed's path, and causing him to slam into the right side of his vehicle. After that, police were able to take Reed into custody. Interestingly, Ahmed appears to have been in the area that day by complete accident. He had originally driven to the Los Angeles area from his home in San Diego to pick up a load, but found that another driver had taken it by mistake when he arrived. He would have been headed elsewhere at the time of the chase if he had picked up the load as planned. Ahmed says he is unsure if his insurance will cover the damage to his vehicle, since he got into the accident on purpose. However, a GoFundMe account for Ahmed has already raised more than $51,000 to help him get back on the road. An Ohio woman is facing charges this week after she allegedly burned down her home after losing it to foreclosure. According to reports, 66-year-old Janet Kaplinger was arrested on Tuesday on 2 counts of aggravated arson. Foreclosure proceedings had started on her property in September of 2019, and the house was eventually sold to a healthcare company on January 8, 2021. Just 1 day later, Kaplinger reportedly set multiple fires inside the house, causing massive damage. The house was later demolished after an emergency teardown order was given by the city. Kaplinger appeared in court on Thursday, where her bond was set at $100,000. Seven people are dead this week, including the perpetrator, after an ex-NFL player shot up the home of a South Carolina doctor and his family before turning the gun on himself. According to reports, 32-year-old Philip Adams showed up at the Rock Hill home of 70-year-old Dr. Robert Leslie on Wednesday. He then proceeded to shoot and kill Leslie, his 69-year-old wife Barbara, and their 9- and 5-year-old grandchildren, as well as 2 heating and air conditioning technicians who were doing a job on the property at the time. When police arrived, 38-year-old James Lewis was found dead at the scene, along with the members of the Leslie family. The second technician, 38-year-old Robert Shook, was rushed to hospital, but died from his wounds on Saturday. Witnesses reported hearing more than 20 gunshots at the Leslie residence at the time of the shooting. Evidence at the scene led police to suspect Adams was the shooter. On Thursday, they went to the home that he shared with his parents and evacuated them, while also trying to talk to Adams and convince him to leave the house. At some point, police found him dead inside, the result of a single self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. At the current time, it is unknown what, if any, relationship Adams had with the victims. Some reports have alleged that he may have been a patient of Dr. Leslie's, but at the time of this recording, this information has not been confirmed. At the same time, investigators are trying to determine whether Adams' career in the NFL could have had something to do with the horrific crime. The former pro athlete's brain will reportedly be studied for signs of chronic traumatic encephalopathy, also known as CTE. Though not yet well understood, the degenerative neurological condition has become widely linked to contact sports in recent years, particularly football, where a number of high-profile violent incidents involving former players has been attributed to the disease. That's it for this edition of Crimes of the Week. If you enjoyed our video, don't forget to like and subscribe to Crime Zone for more true crime content like this, making sure to hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our latest releases. Thank you for watching.